Let's stop here and talk about this. Very good. Bravo, Micah. This takes us literally to another zone, completely. It's music that belongs in another sphere. This man cannot hear anymore, and he is isolated, and there is a tremendous liberating power to his isolation because he is not influenced anymore by ordinary sonorities, by the sound of the time, nothing. He is just by himself, and he says, I'm going there. If you want to come with me, you come at your own risk. I'm not going to try to make it easy for you. I'm not going to accommodate. If you want to follow me, fine. If you don't follow me, it's just as good, just as well. Couldn't care less. So that's where this music comes from. And this is the amazing power that it has on us. Can you imagine a blind painter? It would be terrible. There's no way. There were blind composers. Bach, towards the end of his life, was dictating his music. Delius, the English composer, was dictating his music. But a blind painter is out of the question. A deaf composer is a possibility. And that's what we have here. It's pretty heroic. It's pretty incredible. So the one thing, this was beautiful, by the way, and we can go deep into it and discuss some details. Let's talk for a moment about silences, because this music is really woven on an amazing silence. It's the same silence that Bach's music is written on. And I don't mean to be a preacher, and I'm not going to give you a sermon now, but there is, in the book of Kings, there is a wonderful description of Elijah, the prophet Elijah, having an encounter, a spiritual encounter. So if you bear with me, I'll just very briefly tell you what goes on there. He is hiding because he's persecuted like most prophets are, and he's in a cave, and all of a sudden there is a horrendous storm outside. An earthquake that cracks the mountains, and unbelievable noise. And then it says, and the Lord was not in the noise. Maybe this was Liszt, or maybe it was Wagner, right? And then after that there is fire, huge fire, just horrendous. And then it says, and the Lord was not in the fire. Maybe this is, who would this be among composers? Lots of smoke and fire. Stravinsky, okay. And then there is, according to the King James translation, it says a still small voice. The original Hebrew is even more beautiful. It's the voice of thin silence. The voice of silence. And I like it better because the silence is not an absence of something. It's not the void that is created because there is no sound. It's a presence. It's the voice of silence. And for me, this is where all music begins. All great music begins on this voice. And we have this voice of silence in this movement time and again, especially on those. And it's your business to make the silence truly part of the music. And that's the toughest thing. Let's start the first phrase. You have a little rest that separates 4 fragments of this phrase. See what you can do with a voice of silence in this opening phrase. The sermon is over. Didn't hurt. Okay. Be careful. You have to finish together, with the exception of one place. When Beethoven himself writes it differently. Okay, see if you can help her. I would not release. I'm being very, very, I'm looking at it with a microscope now. You made a diminuendo. What is the harmony? Go ahead. I'll take it across. Rather.
It's less because in this spot, in the parallel spots in the other phrases, it's, I mean.
Right.
So this is one place where I felt like Beethoven is actually stepping back from the dissonance in that.
Then my question is, what will you do with the remaining 3 notes? If you make such a huge diminuendo on going up. Let's try it. Let's try it. That's the 3rd statement, right? Hmm? It's okay for you. It's not so okay for her to follow you because she has very active harmonic material there. Let's hear the harmonies one without him. This chord. This harmony is tense within this context, right? What is it? Play just this chord. And then he resolves the tension. I would go for this chord.
So maybe instead of going to the C, I go to the G.
Let's try that. And then the closing one. This heartbreaking F natural, don't rush through it. Tear my heart, go ahead. Right there, the last one. You know, you're playing it very, very beautifully. I hear 2 different characters there. You're playing 2 instruments now. Your right hand is one instrument, your left hand is another instrument, and you're playing still one instrument. And that's not a good idea. One is this unbelievably sorrowful melody. It's like the voice of fate or something. Rhythmic and strong and solid. Don't play it the same way, both hands. See if you can do that. Split personality. I know it's difficult.